This is Hannibal from the Hannibal TV on YouTube with a UFO slash drone news update. And this is going to be one of my last. I always say this, but this is worth reporting on. Lue Elizondo did his second extended interview of 2025 this week with the Sean Ryan show. This was better than the last week one that he did that was released from Quebec. But it was 3 hours. It was a little long, but the most interesting thing I found about it, and it was a good interview, was his comments on the New Jersey drones and the drones in general, what they were. This is the most, and I listened to every Lue Elizondo interview. I'm a fan of his. I've listened to every single interview he's ever done. I think that's pretty safe to say. Some of them multiple times, and this one is by far the most he said on drones. So I'll basically sum it up for you. UAP and drones may be overlapping issues, possibly involving adversaries. The US has been slow to respond to these issues despite having the technology to take action. China and Russia are deeply invested in UAP research, and the US needs to catch up. The issue is not just about aliens, it's about national security and how the US handles unidentified threats. Basically says in the old days, if you breach the perimeter of a base, such as what allegedly happened with these Picatinny arsenal bases and so forth, base incursions that happened in December, November, and other times throughout the last few years. They would used to send helicopters and jeeps to see what's going on. Now, the military sends drones to investigate. So, drones cover a lot of areas. He says that one of the possibilities for those sightings in the New Jersey area is some people could have been reporting UAPs, and the government response was to launch drones to see what was going on. Because some people were reporting stuff that didn't look at all like a drone. Some people saying weird lighted stuff the size of SUVs, some stuff morphing, some stuff the size of short school buses, some stuff orb-like that appeared to disappear in thin air. Some of it over water, some of it stalking Coast Guard boats up to 20 at a time in the ocean. The response from the government could have been to launch drones to see exactly what these reports were all about. And of course, helicopters were seen investigating some of this stuff as well. There was a lot of stuff in the air going on at the same time. He brings up that it's a certain possibility some of the stuff could have been foreign adversarial. He says the waters get muddied when it's non-human intelligence, China, Russia, and the US all potentially putting objects in the sky. So the people that are saying they are seeing large craft, small lights, and regular looking civilian drones are likely all correct. He also said some of the stuff could have been Red Force Technologies, which is basically programs being launched to assess our government reactions to things. He says he does not rule out that some of it could have been Iranian or Chinese drone tech, as many government people had actually publicly said it could have been that. He also says he wouldn't rule out that some of the technology up there at those times could have been government technology looking for a lost nuke, or something bad could have happened that wasn't released to the public. Those things were up there in response to. He said again, uh, some of this could have been dark projects testing operational readiness to respond to threats. Um, he may actually know what's going on and be not be saying it. He did say that they could have used EMP weapons to take down a lot of these things and should have, but for whatever reason didn't. He says there's a lot of government agencies still arguing who is responsible for what. So one of the reasons why this could have taken so long is that inside the US governments, there's various departments that cannot agree on who's responsible for drones incursions, for instance. So overall, he may or may not know what exactly they were, but overall, it was likely a lot of things. Some of it probably FAA approved, some of it not, and there you have it. That's the most he ever talked publicly about it, and that was the most interesting part of the interview. It seems I do have friends, a lot of friends in the New Jersey area. It seems like, at least for now, the situation up there has calmed down to the point where people have stopped even looking up. They don't care anymore. It's clearly not an imminent threat, and the activity isn't as rampant as it was. There, as I said before, there is a long history of various incursions over bases and stuff. So we'll see if that continues. But the condensed East Coast incursions and activity up in the sky seems to have definitely stopped overall. Someone here is insinuating it very well could have been NATO. And again, this doesn't explain any of the stuff happening in the other countries, but there's no doubt in my mind. I do agree with Lue Elizondo. There could be some UAP stuff that the drones were observing. There's definitely civilian drones up there. There was definitely first responders up there. There was a lot of activity. So, the good news is it appears to be resolved, and it wasn't World War III at that time.